As I sat on that musty floral sofa in that dimly lit living room, he pressed the muzzle of his .45 caliber handgun deep into my left temple and snarled, "We're going to let you out. We're going to let you live if you keep your mouth shut." People can change, and changed people can change society. It was the 1970s in Indiana, the largest Ku Klux Klan state north of the Mason-Dixon line. I was their state leader. I was the Grand Dragon. I was a racist. I was a terrorist. That's who I was then. I thank God every day that that is not who I am now. Today, I'm a professor at Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida, teaching courses in communication and race relations. I'm also a pastor at a historic black church. I serve on the staff there, Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church in Bartow, Florida. I'm the first white pastor the church has ever had since its founding over 140 years ago. I changed. I'm not that guy anymore, thank God. But I know that I cause pain and hurt to so many, that today my life's purpose is to help others radically reduce racial bias. Because you see, unless your parents kept you locked in the basement with absolutely no access to the outside world, it's pretty safe to say that you probably have some level of racial bias in your life today. Why? Because every day we're bombarded with images and words and stereotypes, all of which have a direct impact on our perception of others, and that can lead to racial bias. So how do you radically reduce racial bias in your life? Well, how did I do it in mine? And you know I had plenty to reduce. Over the years, I developed what I call the RACE framework, R.A.C.E. It's helped me. I've taught it to hundreds of my university students. Today, I'd like to share it with you. The R and A are attitudes to adopt. The C and E, actions to apply. Let's take a closer look. The R in the RACE framework stands for respect differences. In 2021, I was scrolling through social media, you do it too, when I saw Gordon. Gordon and I had both worked on the high school newspaper staff. He was a photographer, I was a writer. We were not friends. But now, seeing that bright smile and that dark skin took me back to a conversation that I had back in high school in the hallway with another writer, Tom, and Gordon was standing just a few feet away. I think that's a great idea for a story, Tom. Yeah, hey, you know what? You could take this inward here with you, and he could get some pictures. Gordon just stood there, silent. Tom lit into me. Richard, why did you say that? Don't you understand how hurtful that is to him? Gordon is standing right there. Richard, You need to apologize to Gordon right now. Apologize? What for? That's what he is. I recognized Gordon's difference, but I didn't respect it. Respecting differences goes far beyond merely recognizing physical characteristics. It requires understanding that many people experience life differently than we do. There's another side to this. Respect differences. The A stands for accentuate commonalities. Because differences don't build bridges, common ground does. I kept my mouth shut for 15 years after leaving the Klan. But then about 30 years ago, I decided that was enough. I started speaking out publicly against the Klan, against racism, against white supremacy. And when I did, it made headlines. All across the entire Midwest, former Grand Dragon denounces KKK. Wow. That'll change your life really fast. It was after the first assassination attempt on my life that my bishop decided, we better get that Harris guy and his family out of Indiana. He shipped us down to Florida, where he appointed me as co-pastor of a Haitian congregation. Yeah. But it was there that I started to learn how to accentuate commonalities. Because I started to notice that my Haitian church members, they had the same basic needs and fears and dreams that I had. I was on my road to accentuating commonalities. Well, it takes more than just an attitude adjustment if you want to radically reduce racial bias in your life. It also takes action, and that brings us to the C. The C in the RACE framework stands for Cultivate interracial friendships. Whenever I'm out speaking around the country, I often ask my audiences, raise your hand if you have friends of other races. And every hand goes up until I clarify. I'm not talking about social media friends or classmates or even coworkers. No, it's the person that takes your call at 2:37 a.m. when you're having a personal crisis. It's the person that drops everything, rushes over to your house because you've got to rush your spouse to the emergency room and they need to watch your kids. That's what I mean by a friend. Cultivate interracial friendships. I understood that if my own children were going to grow up with radically reduced racial bias, then they needed to see their parents welcoming friends of other races into our lives and into our home. Well, there's one more part to the RACE framework. That's the E. The E stands for expand your racial literacy. Learn all you can. Don't put it off on your friends to teach you everything that you need to know about their race and their culture. No, that's on you. But today, with podcasts and YouTube and AI literally at our fingertips, there's no excuse for anyone to be racially illiterate in today's society. What do you learn? Learn about the history of race. Learn about how this concept has been developed just over the last few hundred years. Learn about slavery, learn about discrimination, learn about Jim Crow, but don't forget to also learn about the great contributions and achievements that people of other races have made to our society. Well, there you have it, the race framework to radically reduce racial bias. I'll never forget that night when I saw Gordon's picture on my social media. That 45-year-old memory just came flooding back. I felt sick to my stomach. Tears began to flow down my cheeks because I knew that Tom was right. I needed to apologize. I had to reach out to Gordon. I sent Gordon an apology by email. 45 years late. But I felt compelled to ask for this man's forgiveness. And Gordon wrote back. Thank you for the apology, Richard. Of course I forgive you. I don't judge people by who they once were. I judge them by their character I see today. And I see you're doing good work now, Richard. And I'm thankful that you are. Sincerely, Gordon. People can change. And changed people can change society. If the grand dragon of the Klan can change and be a better human, so can we all. Thank you.